Good evening. Hope I'm audible and visible to you. So let's start our section. If you're facing any trouble in between, let me know that. Hi, good evening to everyone. So we are starting its section. Any problem, if you're facing any technical difficulty in between, let me know that. Good evening. Hope I'm audible. So let's. Yeah, this is a class of NCERT and we will be discussing. This is like a compilation class. So after hearing this, listening to the class, you don't want to read NCERT at all, and I'm combining every classes from 6th to 12th. I have combined, and the classes will be in such a way. So we are starting our section. So welcome you all back to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. This is our channel name. If you have not yet subscribed our channel, please do make it. Ensure that you're subscribing the channel for the latest updates and notification. So Unacademy is India's largest online platform where you're able to access the top educators at a single destination. And about me, I'm Liyamol Biju. I've completed my master's in English. I'm a research scholar. I've also completed my Bachelor of Education in English. I have an experience as career counselor, more than 3 years of teaching experience. And this is my profile link, Telegram link, Liyamol Biju. Unacademy, if you're watching my session for the first time, I'm posting right now the Telegram link down so you can be a part of it. So you can try to join it, and this is my Unacademy profile, Liyamol Biju at unacademy.com at Liyamol Biju. So where we are providing classes, both live, both free, and the plus courses will be there. So what you get? You get daily live classes, live tests, structured course, and unlimited access once you're enrolling into any of our courses. And where you get an Academy app. See, apart from taking classes on YouTube, we are having an app. You can just download it from the Unacademy, that is Unacademy app. You can download it from Google Play Store and also from the App Store. So what we offer a comprehensive coverage of every syllabuses like polity and governance, history, current affairs, geography, optional courses, Indian economy, excuse me, science and technology, environment and ecology, practice strategy, NCERT summary, art and culture, and answer writing series. So this is the holistic approach and we are providing all things. Optional courses are also included in the course fee, and you can access the following subscription like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. So many of them ask me a doubt whether there is any difference between the free classes and subscription plans. Yes, of course there is. It will be more holistic and it is like a personal approach. You can use my user code BIJU and get a 10% discount on any courses you are enrolling to it. And we are going to hike the price from October 20. So before that, you can join the courses. And I didn't mark my special classes. So now an Academy app, NCERT series is going, where I am completing compilation. See what we are doing in polity, it's more or than polity. See, polity is a bit simple when you compare to the history parts because You have to cover both old and new NCERT. Here I am completing the entire NCERT series through the course, that is now going through the courses Modern India. Live classes are there, you can watch there, or also you can go with it. Not only that, www.unacademy.com, Unacademy at Liyamol Biju, you can go there and check for the classes. Today we had a session on current affairs where through MCQ, the most easiest way to study current affairs is through MCQ, and we have been providing it. I'll be pasting the links of the classes what I'm going in app right now, so you can be a part of it. See, the classes is of course free. Whatever the classes now I am going here in the app is of free. Also in the group I am sending this, so this is a free class, so don't miss it. You may not be getting another opportunity to watch the free classes. This is a link of Unacademy NCERT series. If you're not getting it, I'm posting it in the group, don't worry about it. So introduction. So we are in a different based approach today. We won't be having questions. We'll be having questions tomorrow. We'll be discussing more or less questions tomorrow. So don't worry about it. So we are going to, what is the heading which is given? Fundamental rights. What do you mean by fundamental rights? We are going to see the entire details, and this course is only based on the NCERTs. And I have added, in addition to that, you should know what I'm teaching, right? So I have added bit poems extra. So I'll be discussing it. You can make a note on it. And at the end of the classes, definitely I'll post this to the group. So when we have already discussed, or in 1928, Motilal Nehru had committed, or he demanded the Bill of Rights for the first time. So the terms, you have to note down the first term we are going to discuss is Bill of Rights. What do you mean by Bill of Rights? Do you have any idea about what you mean by Bill of Rights? What do you mean by Bill of Rights? See, the Bill of Rights, where does this term derive? The term has been derived from American Constitution or US Constitution. The bill has been arrived with the Bill of Rights. The word has been derived from, the concept has been derived from American Constitution. The first 10 articles in US Constitution is known as Bill of Rights. So the Motilal Nehru, when he was preparing the Indian Constitution, he demanded that we also should follow this technique and we also should do it. And this is something very essence of the constitution of the country. And what is it? Fundamental rights we are discussing in part 3 of the Indian Constitution. So whether we have taken the exactly what is there in the US Constitution? No, we haven't taken like that. We have made our own amendments. So we always have to compare with the essence and philosophy of fundamental similarities between US Constitution and Indian Constitution. What is the Indian Constitution? So in the US Constitution, the first 10 articles is known as the Bill of Rights, whereas in Indian Constitution, Part 3 of the Constitution is known as Bill of Rights, or here it is known as Fundamental Rights. Here we talks about right of equality, right to freedom, right to express, right to speech, right to movement. It ensures protection of arbitrary detention, exploitation and protection of for minority languages and religion. So this is it. And the part of the Indian Constitution is, it is legally enforceable. So the fundamental right is legally enforceable, whereas the US Constitution, it is only for the accused crime and it is variable. So basically, can you amend it? Yes, you can amend the Indian Constitution. Even the fundamental rights can be amended. The fundamental rights has been amended and Article 19 G has been taken away. And this is very much important. So, did you get the idea, the concept of Bill of Rights and fundamental rights? Bill of Rights is from US Constitution, fundamental rights is of Indian Constitution. There is a possibility of asking comparison between Bill of Rights and that of the US Bill of Rights of the US Constitution, Bill of Rights of the US Constitution and fundamental rights of Indian Constitution. So, comparison, analyze a possible question, you can discuss it. I've given some points, so try to elaborate it, add addition to it. So, any doubt? Are you clear with the concepts of fundamental rights and Bill of Rights? These are the two various concepts, okay? And there's a possibility of asking analyzation. How for analyzing it can be asked. That's why. Any doubt regarding it, you can ask me. This is a time where you can ask me doubts. See, definitely when whatever the things you are messaging, I'll be. No. So there's a question from a student. Okay. Can fundamental rights be amended to the disadvantage of the people? No, fundamentals cannot be amended to the disadvantage of the people. Never ever the basic structure of the constitution should not be amended. You can't amend the basic structure of the constitution. The basic structure of the constitution is discussed where? The basic structure of constitution is discussed in the preamble of the constitution. Am I going fast? Definitely everything, whatever you can having doubt, you can post me. I will be discussing it in detail. But the thing is, no, once I'm going to, I'll be checking it and I'll be discussing it. Not every word or suddenly I'll be discussing it. So did you get it? Fundamental rights cannot be amended for the disadvantage of the people of the country. It can be amended only based on the basic structure of the constitution. See, any addition or deletion to the fundamental rights can be is based on the basic structure of the constitution. You cannot change the basic structure of the constitution. I hope you are clear with it. See, one more thing, I'll be discussing your doubts, I'll be clearing it with it. But the problem is now, every time I can't look to the phone and I can do it. So whenever I'm getting time, when I'm going through it, I will be discussing it. Done? So you can ask me questions, no doubt, no issue. Definitely, when I'm checking it, when I'm going through it, I'll be answering it. So this is a basic concept. So compare a possible question. Just try to answer it for the 150 words. Compare and contrast the basic philosophy, compare and contrast the basic philosophy Try to answer it as a mains question. You can just answer this is a simple question from the first area itself. Compare and contrast the basic philosophy of Bill of Rights and fundamental rights, or simply the basic elements of the Indian Constitution and US Constitution. Compare and contrast it for the 150 words or 200 words. You can definitely answer it. We have discussed enough points for that. Answer it, scan it and send me. Definitely I'll correct and give it to you. So I asked you people to scan it and send me in the Telegram group, but nobody has done it. I don't know why. We'll be going through the next things. The word fundamental struggles, that these rights are so important. Okay, am I going fast? Let me ask it. Let me clear it, because sometimes, I'll be going very fast. That's why. The fundamental rights are so important that the Constitution is to ensure they are not violated by the government. They are very important, and fundamental right ensure, the fundamental right is bringing a clarity that the Constitution, that you cannot violate it. Simply you cannot violate it. The difference between fundamental rights and ordinary rights. So there are two types of rights we are discussing, that is fundamental rights and the ordinary rights. What are they? Fundamental rights are the basic rights which are protected and guaranteed by the Constitution of a country. Fundamental rights like right to equality, right to fraternity, right to talk, right to express your emotions are the basic rights which is guaranteed by the Constitution. What about ordinary rights? They are the legal rights. They are protected and enforced by the ordinary law of the country. Okay. Fundamental rights are protected and guaranteed by the Constitution of the country, whereas ordinary rights are protected and enforced by law and order. Ordinary rights may be changed by the legislature of the ordinary process making, but a fundamental right may be only changed by amending of the Constitution itself. That means, see, you can simply, ordinary laws, there are many laws that CRPC is not a fundamental right. Okay, this can be amended time to time. That are the legal rights. Ordinary rights mean they are the legal rights. Okay, which is being protected by the ordinary law. You don't want a particular amendment and all, you just pass an order, you can change it. That is a case of ordinary rights. It can easily be changed by the legislature, by the parliament or the legislative assembly, anything, it can be easily changed. But about Constitution, fundamental rights, you can change only by amending the Constitution. And simply you cannot amend a Constitution, you need majority. For amending a fundamental rights, what is the majority required? What is the majority? You can just answer me. What is a majority? Required to amend the fundamental rights. What is the amendment? We'll be discussing different type of amendment. in details when we are discussing amendment. What do you mean by amendment? I'll be taking some extra bits apart from the classes, so that time you need a special majority is required or needed to amend the constitution. Sorry, the fundamental rights can be only amended by the special majority. What is this special majority? Means more than 50% of the persons present in the assembly should, total member of each house, and a two-third majority of the members should be present and voting. Like, what are the other provisions which can be amended using the special majority? Fundamental rights and DPSP, fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy, DPSP, are the things which can be amended by the constitution, means by the two-third majority. And by special majority is required. We'll be discussing amendments in detail. So did you get the concept? See, once you're getting the concepts, try to read what? While you're getting the concepts, try to read Lakshmikant as if. Fine, special majority, fine. Okay, I'm a bit fast. Okay, I'll be slowing down. I have a habit sometimes and I'll go very fast. That's why. Punit, okay, fine. I'll be slowing down. So, did you get the conceptual clarity? Once you're getting the conceptual clarity, try to read. After completing this class, what you have to do, you have to revise. I'll be sending the notes. You have to revise it. Go and read Lakshmikant today itself. So if you haven't read Lakshmikant for a time being, or if you don't know how to read for the first time, you're reading it, you'll get more conceptual clarity. Right? So, nature of fundamental rights. Does nature of fundamental rights have a nature? Yes, of course, fundamental rights is having a nature. What is the nature of fundamental rights? What is the nature of Indian fundamental rights? Is it flexible, or is it rigid, or is it qualified, or is it absolute? Fundamental rights of Indian constitutions are not absolute, but they are qualified. What is it? What do you mean by this qualified and absolute? See, simply you cannot go and change it. You need a special majority to change it. So this is a qualified right, and it is ensuring to each and every person's. A right is a qualified right when it is being given to each and every person's, and it will be available to everybody. Fundamental rights are enforceable by the courts. Enforceable. What about DPSP? DPSP is what about fundamental duties? What about fundamental duties? We'll be seeing what is fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are not enforceable by the court, fundamental duties are not enforceable by the what? Court, whereas fundamental rights are enforceable by the court. Means, if the court is telling that you can't violate it, the court can ask the ministers or the police or anybody in this country that you should enact it, or you should go accordingly. So that is enforceable, whereas fundamental duties is not enforceable. by the court of law. We'll see it. What is fundamental duties? And another question which comes to your mind, we'll be seeing it. And some of them are in negative character. So what is the aspect of fundamental rights? Fundamental rights are in negative character for whom? For the rulers of for those who are being ruling us. Simply they can't come and tell and they can't do whatever they want. It is negative in character. Fundamental for factors are negative in character. Why it is known as negative in character? See, when you're considering the political theory and political things, it will be considered as negative in character when it is not supporting the authority which rules. Okay, not the people, but the authority which is ruling. That is known as negative in character. They are justiciable. See, if any fundamental right of a person is violated, you can move to the court. See, right to be silenced is a fundamental right. You cannot compel a person that you should sing national anthem. You should do that. You can't compel it. If you want to be silent, that is it. If somebody is breaching or somebody is questioning it, obviously you can go to the court. So they are justiciable, and when it is violated, you can no. They are not sacrosanct or permanent. Why they are not sacrosanct? Sometimes the government can take away the fundamental rights in certain situations when emergency provisions are being there in the country. When emergency provisions are being there in the country, you can be taken away. So they are known as, they are not permanent. Okay, only in certain situations. I hope you are clear with the nature of fundamental rights. Are you okay with it? Are you getting the concepts? There is no penalty for violating it. They are not penalty for violating it, but they are questionable and you can be imprisoned. You get imprisonment sometimes if the fundamental right of a person is violated. Okay, it depends on the court. The court is deciding authority in this case. When the question is coming, court is deciding. Okay. So hope you got a basic idea about the nature of fundamental rights and what is it. Then we are going to discuss in-depth analysis of fundamental rights. And a simple question before that. Why are they called fundamental rights? Why are you calling these rights as fundamental rights, the basic right? Two reasons. One is it is ensured by the Constitution. It is ensured by the fundamental rights are rights which are ensured by the Constitution, and they are enforceable by the court of law. That is why they are known as fundamental rights. Two reasons why it is known as fundamental rights. In a nutshell, I'll be telling what is fundamental rights, what are the different rights. So first start with right to equality. The first right what we are going to discuss right now is right to equality. Is the first right. So the first right what we are discussing is right to equality. From Article 14 to 18 of the Indian Constitution is telling about the right to equality. Two things. What is Article 14 says? Article ensures that everybody is equal before law and Equal protection of law. Two things being discussed here. Right to equality. Article 14 is ensuring you equality before law and equal protection of law. What is the nature of this? What is the nature of this? What do you mean by this? That is equal protection of law and equality of law. Two things. So, Article 14. Article 14 is very important. Simply, I'll just tell a call how I remember. What is February 14th? February 14th is Valentine's Day, right? Very favorite to us. At least for many of the people. So, like that, the Article 14 of the Constitution is something very favorite to us because it ensures equality before law and equal protection of law. The state cannot simply deny this. Whether this Article 14 is applicable to everyone? Yes, Article 14. February 14th is Valentine's Day. So, Valentine's Day is something very important. Article 14 is also very important because it ensures equality before law and equal protection of law. Not only that, this is applicable to all the citizens in the country. Is it only applicable to the citizens? No, this is applicable to the foreigners as well. Applicable to both citizens plus foreigners. Article 14 of the Constitution. Then the other thing is abolition of titles. Prohibition on discrimination on the ground. You cannot discriminate a person, okay, in the name of religion, race, or caste or creed. Everybody is equal in the law. See, the concept of equal protection of law is taken from American Constitution. Okay, whereas equality before law is taken from UK. England Constitution, equality before law is taken. Equal protection of law is taken from American Constitution. See, these points are all additional. I'm taking the classes. Don't expect that everything will be giving here as a notes. So, if I'm giving like that, there is no use in taking classes, right? So, got it? Equal protection of law and equality before law. So, is there any exception to right of equality? We'll be discussing it. Then Article 15. We discussed about Article 14 and we see what is Article 14. Now we see what is Article 15. It is saying that you are not supposed to prohibit some persons in name of your religion, caste, creed and all. Everybody is equal. Then equal opportunity in a public employment. Not it is in the reservations are also given in certain cases in public employment. Abolition of untouchability. In this country, nobody is untouchable. Everybody is touchable. What is this concept of untouchability? It is something which is prevalent in the past of the Constitution. Means in the history time. In the past, some people, especially the Harijans, were considered as untouchable. You cannot, they were not allowed to study with the common people. They were not everybody's common people, okay? I'm explaining the concept of from the history, okay, from the past. That's why this common people with the higher society or higher Brahmins or something, they were not allowed to eat the food. They were not used the thing. And they were forced to do what? Manual scavenging. There's a beautiful book about untouchability. Untouchability. The untouchable. You know the order of the untouchable? The untouchable. There is a film also. In The Untouchable is a film which was directed in the year 1987 by the work Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand. But I think there is no, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know what the connection is. The name is given as Untouchable. That's it. Mulk Raj Anand. Untouchable is a beautiful work by Mulk Raj Anand, where he is describing the sacrosanct, means the about the downtrodden part of the societies. You are not allowed. So Mahatma Gandhi worked for the welfare of the Harijans or the untouchables, or else the manual scavengers. Abolition of titles. You will be having a doubt. If this abolition of title is given, what about Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan? They are not titles. Okay, they are honors. So you should know, like, abolition of title means in the past state some people were be given sir, addressed as sir. That was a title which is being provided by the foreign officials or Britishers or foreigners, whatever be. So that title is being abolished here. This is known as abolition of titles. Right to equality, equality before law, equal protection of law, prohibition of discrimination on the ground of religion, caste, race, etc. Equality of opportunity in public employment, abolition of untouchability, and abolition of titles. So hope you got a basic idea about the things. See, these are something, the fundamental rights are very crucial. There's something very important, and that's why I'm taking time and explaining it. Hope you are getting it. I hope you are understanding it. So this is yep. Now the problem is solved, right? I have moved bit fast, no problem. We'll be discussing it once more, the points. Right? The fundamental rights are very crucial. There's something very important, and that's why I'm taking time and explaining it. Hope you are getting it. I hope you are understanding it. So this is if you are losing your connection in between, let me know that. Yep. Now the problem is solved, right? I have moved bit fast, no problem. We'll be discussing it once more, the points. Right? Yes. Very right? I have moved bit fast, no problem. We'll be discussing it once more, the points. Okay, I don't know where I've stopped in between. Right? See, am I audible? Am I visible? Okay, I don't know where I've stopped in between. Right? Fine. So, okay, we had discussed right to equality. Since there was a technical error in between, I am explaining it once more. Article 14 to 18 is being discussed as right to equality. I'll just brief it now. So Article 14 talks about the equality before law and equal protection of law. These two concepts, the Article 14, the first concept is taken from this, equality before law is taken from UK, and equal protection of law is taken from American Constitution. Done. The next thing, Article 15 is discussing about the prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race and caste. So simply you cannot discriminate someone with the regarding to your caste and all. Every caste is considered as equal. Okay, fine. I was facing some difficulty in between. I don't know what's it. Okay, we'll be joining right now. I think there is some technical run going. No problem. We'll be discussing right now itself. Okay. Unfortunately, എൻ്റെ ക്ലാസ്സിൻ്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് നിൽക്കേണ്ടി വന്നു. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ തിരിച്ച് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വന്നു. എന്തെങ്കിലും ലൈറ്റ് ഇട്ടോ? Okay, fine. I'm back. Am I audible? Am I clear with you right now? In between, there was some technical error. So I was too. Yes, fine. So we'll move on. So we had discussed a bit in between, no issue. I'll be repeating it once more. Current slide. Okay, fine. So Article 14 to right to equality comes where it is being discussed. Article 14 to 18. Article 14 to 18 is discussed in the right to equality. Right? So prohibition of discrimination on the ground of religion, race and all is being prohibited in the country. Right, equality before law and equal protection of law, Article 14 of the Constitution ensures it. And where it has been derived, equality before law has been derived from the UK, whereas equal protection of law is being derived from US Constitution. These two constitution, one is a positive aspect, other is a negative aspect. What is a positive aspect? Equal protection before law is a positive aspect, where equality before law is a positive aspect, whereas equal protection, equality before law is a negative aspect, whereas equal protection of law is a positive aspect. So in one thing itself, two aspects has been discussed. So February 14 is something very famous. For what is it? 14. What is 14? February 14 is celebrated as the Valentine's Day all over the world. And same way, this Article 14 is very crucial and important for the Constitution of India. Right? What do you mean by equality before law? Equality before law means every person in our country should be treated like equally. There should not be any difference for treating a person. Every person should be treated equally, right? Everything is fine right now. No, right to equality is, yes, that's where we are going to discuss. Article 14 is for every citizen, both foreign plus Indian citizens. Article 14 is there. What about this Article 15? It is also for every citizens. This whatever being discussed, the article for equality is being equal to every citizens of the country. It means every citizens of the world. It is being considered. Then equality of opportunity in public employment. What do you mean by that? Every persons will be getting equal opportunity in public employment. So you belong to this caste, you belongs to this religion, you cannot be discriminated. Everybody is equally protected and everybody is equal before the law. So this is basic concepts regarding equality of law. So what do you mean by abolition of untouchability? Abolition of untouchability means in the past, Dalits were considered as humans. No, Dalits were not considered as human during the past. Okay. And they were considered as untouchable. They were not allowed to use the common toilets. They were not allowed to study. They were not allowed to sit and eat. Mulk Raj Anand in his work Untouchability, this is one of the popular work of Mulk Raj Anand. He has beautifully described what is a condition. And so manual scavengers were not even considered as humans. See, still it is prevailing, but by the law, and we are ensuring that it should not be happen. So that is abolition of untouchability. Everybody is equal, untouchable or Harijans. Mahatma Gandhi worked for the upliftment of Harijans. What was the problem? They were not allowed to eat with the others. They were not allowed to drink the things with others. So these are the things, or this are the something which has happened with the right to equality, means abolition of untouchability. Then what is abolition of titles? A common doubt which comes to your mind is, if title is abolished, what is Padma Vibhushan? What is Padma Bhushan? What is Bharat Ratna? They are not titles. They are honors which are being given to the Indian citizens for their works. So this is all about right to equality. We are having something extra to discuss. So practicing untouchability is something very bore, or you should not do that. Okay, at any cost and by the protection. This is something it has been it should have come in the first thing. So what will be, this is about freedom and equality. They are both very important, very crucial of the democracy. What do you mean by liberty? Liberty means freedom of thought, freedom of expression and freedom of action. No citizens can be denied the right to freedom, the right to life and personal liberty. So this is all being discussed here, and an example also given, taken from the test book itself, or something which is read. Once a person is arrested, how he will be treated? Within 24 hours, he should be produced in front of magistrate. Then Article 16, exceptions. Whether there is exception for right to equality? Yes, there are certain exceptions. Article 16(4) of the right to equality itself tell that You want to give some special reservation to some special people. See, like if you're feeling that in the representation there is no equal number of backward classes is being represented, equal number of SC/ST is not represented, then what is being given? The thing is, you should give a separate reservation for this. So, women. Our society is not treating women as equal to men. So, but the government wanted that stability. See, not everybody. There are exceptions. There is some attitude. So, the patriarchal attitude should be changed. So, women to represent the woman in the society, what you can do? You can give equal representation. You can reserve seats for women. Particular seats are being reserved for women. Then to that seat, only women can come. And reservation for appointments. See, backward citizen means not backward citizen, backward class people and SC/ST people should be given special privileges. Why? They are considered as the downtrodden of the society. To bring them to the forefront, what you have to give? You have to give reservation. And other exceptionals or other exceptions here is, if I'm going fast, let me know that. A criminal proceedings. President or Prime Minister. Who will be? Or President? Yes, it is President. Okay. President, suppose, just an imagination. Okay. Our President have murdered a person. Can he be arrested? Can the President be arrested at that same moment? No, he cannot be arrested, or he cannot be proceed for the criminal proceeding, whether it is president or governor, both. For both of them, during his or her term of office. Once he is resigned from the post of president, he can be arrested. Otherwise, the president or governor cannot be arrested. And what about the court? Whether court can give a warrant for arrest? No. The court cannot give a warrant for arresting the president or the thing. And what about the case of no warrant can be issued by? Court cannot issue warrant. And no member of the Legislative Assembly shall be liable to any proceeding in the court when he is during the term. So an assembly is being held, or assembly is going on, an MLA or MP, both of them cannot be prosecuted by any court during the session. This is for criminal thing. Okay. What about the UN diplomats and other persons? You cannot treat the UN diplomats, and there is separate laws for it, which is mentioned in the UN Charter. According to that only you can go with the proceedings. See, everything has been discussed. Article 14, 15, 16 and all was there in limelight during the entire, due to the latest Citizenship Amendment Act, a criticism thing. So expect this thing for your mains. A mains possible area. So you can see the trends are being changed every time. Right? This is it. We'll be moving with the next thing. I hope the concept is clear for you. This might be a bit long lesson because You have to understand the concept. If I'm not able to complete it, like it is taking more time, I will be continuing with the right to freedom tomorrow, no issues. And means fundamental rights. Right to freedom. Right to freedom is from Article 19 to 22. Two things will be the protection of rights. Freedom of speech and expression, assemble things. So these are the freedom of right to freedom is discussed from Article 19 to 22 of the Constitution of our country. What is the basic rights you are getting in our freedom? That is freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to be silent, freedom to form peaceful assembly, or you form associations or unit. You can move out throughout the country except inner line permit state. So we also discussed yesterday what do you mean by an inner line permit. Inner line permit, in certain places in India you want to visit, especially the 4 states, and in that 4 states, some places like Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizo, and Arunachal Pradesh. Some places you want to visit, you need special permission to visit. Even in Andaman Nicobar, there are some certain places you want to visit, you need special permission. That is known as inner line permit. Except that you can move anywhere freely. So you wanted to be there, you can be there. You don't want to be there, you don't want to be there. It's according to your wish. And there was an exception in the case of Jammu Kashmir, J&K. Till recently, but the State Reorganization Act of Jammu Kashmir, which made that now onwards the citizens of Jammu Kashmir also can be, or people can be, freedom to question higher authority. Yes, of course, we are having the freedom to question anybody we want, until one thing is done, okay? Anybody you can question, but you cannot breach or you cannot question the court. Contempt or court. You cannot simply go and criticize court outside. You will be arrested, you will be imprisoned, and you will be jailed. Okay? There are options to move freely throughout the territory of India. You can practice any profession or carry any occupation or trade whatever you want. But thing is, you cannot engage in criminal activities. That is a limitation. Protection in respect of conviction for offices. Right to live, right to have personal liberty, right to education, right to protest against arrest and detention in certain cases. So we'll be moving it. This is a general idea on right to freedom. So the starting is Article 19. What is this Article 19 in nutshell? It is ensuring the citizens the right to freedom of speech and expression, right to form assembly and peacefully and without any arms, right to form association or unions, right to move freely throughout the territory of India, right to reside and settle in any part of territory of India. And this is something omitted. This was related to right to property. So Article 19, it talks about the right. These are the certain rights which is being ensured by the Constitution of our country. That is right to freedom, right to move, right to speech, to form peacefully you can move, and without any arms you can form associations, you can form assembly, you can have strike. Right to strike is a right until you are using arms. So this is a general idea about it. Any doubt you can ask me right now. So Article 19 right to property has been removed from the fundamental rights by the 44th Amendment. See, why it was being removed? Because it was like a hindrance to achieve socialism. If a single person is accumulating the whole wealth or whole property, what will be the conditions of others? So the government wanted everybody or to enact socialism. The government has been given this. See, in this right, some of rights are subject to security of the country. We'll be seeing it in detail. And very important is Article 21. We'll be discussing in detail right now. This is so Article 20 says that you cannot be punished or prosecuted twice for a same crime. So what is that? Once you committed a crime, let it be you killed someone. Okay, you are arrested, you are prosecuted. A judge give you an imprisonment of 5 years. For the same case, you cannot be re-imprisoned again. No person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offense not more than once. And a person can be a self-witness. No, he can be a self-witness. You killed a person. Somebody cannot force you to agree that you killed it. You need evidence. Okay, the court requires evidence. Why is such a privilege is being given? Sometimes for something else, the person, some other persons or some people wanted you to mismanage. You are offering a money, you are offering amount, a certain amount. Somebody else committed the crime and you are offered an amount and you are going to the court or you cannot, if a wrong judgment is given in the court, what you can do? You can reappeal. You can go for judicial review. Okay. You can go for judicial review. If you're feeling that the judgment is given wrong, you can go for a judicial review. That is only thing you can do in the case of a court. Simply you cannot blame a court. You are coming outside the court and you're just blaming the court. You can't do that. You can appeal for a judicial review. So this is the thing. Okay, this is an idea of Article 20. Then Article 21 is very important article. Protection of life and personal liberty. What is it? This is a fundamental right which is available for both citizens and foreigners. Both the citizens and foreigners have this fundamental right. This can be divided into, that is, protection of life and liberty, or right to life, right to personal liberty. And this is one of the most important rights which a constitution carried. This is the heart of the fundamental rights. Supreme Court said that, Supreme Court described this as the heart of the fundamental rights. What is this? Deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. This implies that this right has been proved been provided against the state law. Means a state cannot simply go and arrest a person. Yes, of course they can do it in the case of preventive detention, unless you cannot do it. So there are some few important judgments when you come to it. That is, first one is the case of A.K. Gopalan case. Important judgment, you just can notice. Then Maneka Gandhi vs. Union of India, 1978. So these are the basic cases which you come across in Article 21. So you got an idea about Article 21. So this is a general idea. I am not going I'm not giving a big explanation. You just want to give it a better idea. That's why. Because this is based on your NCERT. This is all what is in the NCERT. And now we are going to discuss preventive detention. The term preventive detention. What do you mean by preventive detention? You can arrest a person. Okay. Simply, you can arrest this person or X or Y. Let it be X or Y. X. You can arrest a person X if the state feels that, if the bureaucracy feels that, not the bureaucracy, if the state feels that, the court feels that if you are leaving that person free, he can commit a crime. Then that case, preventive detention is applied. That means you are getting a news that if this person is being freed, he is going to keep a bomb in the parliament. You are coming to know that he is going to keep a bomb in the parliament. Obviously, that person will be arrested and kept in the custody in order to prevent that crime. So that is known as preventive detention. Did you understand the concept? Some concepts in the fundamental rights are a bit tough to understand. That's why I'm repeating it twice, thrice and all. Did you get a clarity, a conceptual clarity on preventive detention? Okay. Preventive detention means this is the case of preventive detention. A feeling is that X is going to commit a crime, then he will be arrested. That is known as preventive detention. That is, the government is having a feeling that this person, if you are leaving this person free, he is a threat to the law and order or the security in the country, he can be arrested. Not this. The preventive detention can be extended only for 3 months. After 3 months, a board will be the advisory board where there will be a review will be there. You arrest a person only for 3 months, you can keep that person in preventive detention. So this is the case of preventive detention. Did you got it? Did you understand the concept of preventive detention? So I'll explain once more. Once you know the concept, once you're getting the concept, that is very important in the case of preventive detention, because where it is being discussed. The preventive detention is discussed in Article 22(3). This is an exceptional case. Article 22 of the Constitution talks about the preventive detention. So where is this preventive detention? The idea of the the very idea of the preventive detention came. The very idea of the preventive detention has been came before the independence, and the first case of preventive detention has been passed in 1950. For the first time, preventive detention has been passed in 1950. And where it is being challenged, of course, this preventive detention has been challenged in the case of Gopalan vs. State of Madras. The National Security Act of 1980. This is something very important. This also discuss about the preventive detention. It was not applicable to Jammu and Kashmir, but now onwards it is applicable to Jammu and Kashmir. So 2004 Terrorist Act. 2004 Terrorist Act, this is an act which is being passed by the law. This is also preventing the preventive detention. 2004, this is known as unlawful activities. This is all you want to be note. Preventive detention is a due process of law. This is a due process of law. So did you get a complete idea on what you mean by preventive detention? Make the concept clear. Right? So we will be seeing more on it, more about it. So Article 22 of the Constitution is mainly describing the preventive detention and arrest. So if a person, suppose there is a feeling that that person X is going to commit a crime. He is arrested, right? There is a possibility, there is a hope that there is a thing, not hope, there is a what? There is a prejudice that there is an exception. We are expecting that that person is committing crime. Simply he will be arrested and kept in the jail. So what is the procedure? If in case a person is arrested like that, within 24 hours that person has to be produced before a court of magistrate. So what about the enemy ally? Means a person from a enemy country or a person as a spy. What about his condition? What about his thing? He will be arrested and he will be kept in the custody, but you cannot question it. That is the thing about preventive detention. It is a very important term. I hope you are clear with the idea of preventive detention. If you're having any doubt, you can ask me right now. Okay, one more important thing, you can just make a note on it. Only on 4 grounds preventive detention can be enforced. What are the 4 grounds? if it is something is threatening the security of the state, you are having a failure to maintenance of public order. You're failing to maintain the public order. There is a feeling that maintenance of supplies and essential services and defect, foreign affairs. This is a one possibility, or maintenance of supplies and essential services and defense. So these are the 4 grounds which is being considered for preventive detention. The time period is only 3 months. Time period is only 3 months. Repeating it. After every 3 months, you can keep it the person for a long time, but every 3 months, after every 3 months, you have to attend the court, or you have to be with the court. You have to produce that person in front of the court. So what are the reasonable restrictions when come to the fundamental right? What are the reasonable restrictions? Like if it is threatening the public order, you cannot speak what you want. See, if you cannot form an association, or you cannot assemble somewhere if it is threatening the country. If there is a case that there is a feeling that powers are being misused, then it will be the person means the thing is comes under reasonable restriction. Hope you got a clear idea about it. Okay, before right to exploitation, what is this right of accused? This is also a part of preventive detention. That is, a person is being given various offenses has been mentioned, or he is being given various offenses. It is being telling that this person is having done various offenses. Is charged simply. Okay, a person is being produced before the court, and he is telling, you are telling that he is a criminal. What is a condition? He can defend himself. That is known as right of an accused. Simply, somebody cannot accuse you. If you are having a feeling that you are simply accused without any reason, without any blind thing, you can move in the court and you can say that I am not an accused. You want proof. That's all. So simply somebody cannot accused. What is the right of accused? You are an accused. Accused is a person. Okay, suppose somebody is telling X is committed, Y is committed a crime. Actually, he does not committed a crime, but suppose somebody want to portray him, somebody having enmity, a bureaucrat is having enmity with Y, so he simply wanted to arrest that person. So he is telling he is a criminal, he is being arrested. Then the Y is accused. The person Y is known as an accused. So constitution also ensure some right for the accused. Simply you cannot accuse a person, you need valid evidence. So other thing is, you cannot simply say that this person has committed crime unless the court is telling you that person has committed crime. I'm repeating it. Simply you cannot tell a person that he is a criminal unless until the court is telling he has committed a crime. He is a criminal. The court is the only authority to tell that. Once the court declared that person has committed crime, then only he's committed crime. Till that time, he's just a suspect, not an accused. So it also provide, the constitution also provide or ensure that once a person is accused of any crime, he should or she should get adequate opportunity to defend himself or herself. What are the things which is being provided? Free and fair trial in the court. No person should be punished for the same crime more than once. No person shall be declared any action illegal from the back date. No person shall be asked to give evidence against himself or herself. So this is the rights of accused. We already discussed it. Once more, I am repeating it. So the next thing is what we are going to write against exploitation. Article 23 to 24. What is this right against exploitation? Prohibition of human trafficking. Human trafficking. Beggar. Forced labor, etc. comes under right of exploitation. What is this? It also prohibits children to work in factories. So the children under the age of 14 cannot simply go and work in a factory. They are being prohibited by the court or by the law. That is the right against exploitation. No forced labor or no begging. And the children cannot be worked under any hazardous situation. This is a basic thing and this is known as right of exploitation. What is Article 23? Article 23 prohibits human trafficking. Article 23 prohibits human trafficking and forced labor. Then let me ask you a doubt. There is a situation arise in the country that some people want to go to military and the government is declaring that you are supposed to participate in the army. You have to go to army. What is it? Is it violating the Article 23? No. In such cases, the Article 23 is not violated. See, the state can impose compulsory public service if needed. State can impose compulsory public service if needed. State can impose compulsory public service if needed. So that is not being considered, sir. Especially in case of COVID pandemic, many people were asked to serve the nation. The doctors were asked to serve the nation. It was compulsory. So this way the state can impose it at the case of emergency. It is not considered as a right against exploitation, or it is not considered as a exploitation. So what is beggar? Why is beggar? A person without salary, without payment is known as a beggar. Begging is a crime in our country. It is like an exploitation of the people. So anybody or nobody can engage a person and telling that you have to do work, you have to work for me, I won't pay you. That is not possible in our country. If you are working, you have to pay. If it's not like that, if you are being forced to the labor, then you can move to the court. You can give complaints. See, since nowadays you even don't want to go to a court, if you're facing such things, you can come directly speak out in The public medias, once you are speaking out in public media, court are taking suo motos. Suo moto means with the consent of court itself, they are taking cases. That is not a suo moto. See, many terms are being discussed here. I know it is a bit confusing, but this is something very important. Then what about Article 24 of the Constitution? Article 24 of the Constitution discuss about children, prohibition of employment of children in factories, etc. No child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factories or employment of children. Nowadays, there was an amendment, and by that amendment, nowadays the children can work in non-hazardous places, but not in hazardous place or factories. So these are the thing. The Child Labor Amendment Rule 2017. It was the latest or last rule which came with this. Child Labor Amendment Rules 2017. Amendment Rule 2017. Human slavery is prohibited. Human trade is being prohibited. Forced labor is being prohibited in our country. So this is all about right to exploitation. I hope you got an idea about it. I told you, this is a bit long lesson, and in between there was some trouble. So it is like this. Then right to freedom of religion, which is being discussed in Article 25 to 28 of the Constitution. So according to this Constitution, everyone enjoys the right to follow the religion of his or her choice. You want to follow religion according to your choice. Nobody is compelling you. Whichever religion you wanted to follow, you can follow according to your wish. Nobody can tell you that you should follow this religion, you should do that. India is a secular state. We don't have any official religion. No official religion. Whichever religion you want to follow, you can follow it, which is being discussed from Article 25 to 28 of the Constitution, which provides and ensure that everyone have the right to enjoy the right or religion of his or her choice. And the freedom is considered as a hallmark in democracies. This is very important in democracy. Article 25 to 28 being given as a part of right to religion, right to form association, right to form freedom of religion. So what is it? Mainly India is a secular state. We don't have a particular religion as there on, or we don't have any particular religion. Every religion is being treated in our country as equal as that. Article 25 ensure that, okay, you cannot prosecute a person by telling that you belongs to this religion. Unlike in Myanmar and all what is being going on. Here everything is fine. Article 25 of the Constitution is discussing about freedom of consciousness, freedom of profession, practice and propagation of religion, freedom of consciousness, freedom of possession, practice and propagation of religion. Article 25 guarantee the freedom of consciousness. Okay. The above mentioned freedoms are subject to public order, health and morality. This also make ensure that state can make laws of their own. and something like many things are being protected. What is Article 26? Article 26, freedom to manage religious affairs. You can manage your own things. That is, religious minority can establish their own what? Their own establishments, their own institutions can be protected. Then Article 27. What is Article 27? Article 27 is freedom of as a payment of promotion of any particular religion. Then Article 28. This is all nutshell only we are discussing because this is something related to the NCERT compilation. Article 28 means freedom as of attendance at religious instruction or religious worships in certain educational institutions. The word secularism has been amended and being included in from which of the Constitution? By the which amendment? 42nd Amendment Act added secularism to the Constitution. So anyway, we discussed yesterday what is the difference between Indian secularism and modern secularism. So there is this right to freedom. Right to freedom of faith and worship. Everyone is in the country is free to choose their own religion. They can follow whatever they want. Freedom of religion include freedom to profess, follow and propagate any religion. Religion is subject to certain limitation. That is, some cases government can impose rule. What is known as doctrine of essentiality? What's the term? I asked you to find out a term yesterday. Did you find it out? What was it? It was related to some doctrine. The term is doctrine of essentiality. What is this doctrine of essentiality? The term doctrine of essentiality means the court can interfere in religious affairs when, if it is violating the natural fundamental rights, if it is violating, if any religion is violating the fundamental rights, then the principle of doctrine of essentiality is applicable and the court can interfere. So this is very important to note. The term is known as doctrine of essentiality. I asked you guys to find it out yesterday. I don't know whether you have find it out or not, but this is a case. I know I'm a bit late today. What to do? There was some technical error in between. So equality of all religion. Every religion is considered equal in our country. It is why India is being considered like that. India is a country of several religion, not only one religion. A particular religion is the. It is like a negotiation, or it is like a unit of a multi-religion. So everybody will be treated equally. This is considered as a negativity to the government. Because why? This is a negative concept. Equality of religion is a negative concept. Why? Because this is not favoring the government. Something favoring the government, something, whatever be, which is favoring the government is known as positivity. That is considered as positive. Whereas something is favoring the citizen, then that is considered as negative. So don't confuse with the terms of positive and negative in terms of constitution. Positive means what? Citizen is associated with. Negative means what? Government, it is not favoring the government. And Equality of religion is a negative concept because it is not favoring any particular government or any particular religion. India does not have any official religion. India is a secular state. It also gives right to equality in the case of employment and many things. Nobody can be discriminated in the name of religion. Then other right is cultural and educational rights. Right to educate is something that is being discussed in the Constitution. Article 29 to 30 discuss about cultural and educational right. What is it? This right ensure protection to protect rights to religious, cultural and linguistic minorities. They are being protected. Means in certain cases there are religious institutions. Means the religious minority can establish their own institution to promote or to protect, not promote, to protect the religious minority people. And there are also many rules and regulations to preserve their heritage and culture. For preserving the heritage and culture of religious minority. So Article 29(1), 29(2) is being discussing it. This is all you want to know. See, basic concept is only being cleared with the NCERT. We are a society. Why? We are a society of diversity of people and we are having a lot of people. And our constitution believes that diversity is the strength of the constitution. One of the fundamental right in our constitution is to maintain the culture thing. So this is all you things. You just can read it. Nothing else. Right to constitutional remedies. That is the last right what we are being discussed. Where it is being discussed in the constitution. Article 32 to 35 discuss about right to constitutional remedy. The constitution guarantees that if citizens' fundamental rights are violated, the government cannot infringe or upon it or corrupt any of the fundamental rights. If some fundamental rights are being violated, directly they can go to court. That is being discussed here in the constitutional remedies. This is right of constitutional remedies and some features are being given. Then what is fundamental duties? Certain fundamental duties are being given. They are not enforceable by the court of law. It is by the 42nd Amendment. This fundamental duties come to it. Like 11 duties or something is given. 10 duties are being given and the 10 duties are giving. They are not enforced by the constitution. They are asking. The court is asking us if it is done, this is good. In order to protect harmony among all citizens and environment. The words which is being you should know those words. Like what is the meaning of habeas corpus? What is habeas corpus? Habeas corpus asking if you are arresting a citizen, he should be presented before the court. That is known as habeas corpus. Habeas corpus means if a person is arrested, then that person should be presented before the law. That is known as habeas corpus. Then mandamus. What is another important term? This is another right. That is, if a court is finding out that a particular office holder do not doing it legal duty. That means if a person is not doing his legal duty and violating something, then he can apply for the mandamus. Prohibition. This is a writ which is issued by a higher court to a lower court. That means Supreme Court can order it to High Court. But High Court cannot give to Supreme Court. Prohibition means higher court is issuing to the lower court is known as prohibition. Simply, Supreme Court can issue a law to the High Court, but High Court cannot ask the Supreme Court to do something. That is known as prohibition. These terminologies are very important. Then the next term is quo warranto. What is it? The court is finding that some person is holding a particular office. He is not dignified or he is not qualified to be in that position. The court can question it and restrict that person from the power. That is known as quo warranto. So first we discussed habeas corpus. Habeas corpus is asking, if you arrest a person, you have to present them before the court. Mandamus, if you are doing a legal duty, if you are not doing a legal duty, the court can ask you. Then prohibition. Prohibition means higher court is issuing to the lower court, not from the lower court to the higher court. And quo warranto. Quo warranto means means holding, but it is not entitled to hold that office. A person is holding an office and he is not entitled to hold that office. It is known as quo warranto. Then the other important term is certiorari. The court in the Indian orders, lower court, orders a lower court or another authority to transfer. See, like the lower court is the, okay. District court can sometimes transfer a case to High Court. High Court to Supreme Court. This is known as certiorari in simple terms. Then DPSP. What is the main aim of DPSP? DPSP main aim is to check the welfare of the people, that like social, economic and political justice and welfare will be considered here. So this is it, directive principles of state policy. It is checking the welfare measures of the people like economic, social and political justice. It also has to promote cottage or cotton industries should be vocal for local. Where the concept of vocal for local has been arised. The concept of vocal for local has been arised from DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. That is, if we are doing it, this is good for the citizens of the country. That is a main aim of Directive Principles of State Policy. Based on this directive principles, the government implementing schemes, welfare measures. Have you ever thought why the government is doing it? Because it is guaranteed in the constitution as DPSP. It has to promote the cottage industries, etc. And prevention of slaughter of useful cattle. This is being described in the DPSP. Promotion of village panchayat. Many village panchayat act and all has been enacted by the 72nd and the 73rd amendment. All these schemes. Why this was being into force? This was because to promote it. Non-justiciable right means you have to pay for equal work, equal wage. New wage code. Fine. What do the directive principles contain? The principles contain mainly three things. The goals and objects which can be adopted for the welfare of the people. If you are adopting it, this is good. And certain rights of the individuals also be given. This is like fundamental rights. And certain policies that government should adopt. So we are winding up today's section. Hope you have gone clear to it. You can use my user code BIJU and get a 10% of discount. Good night. So we can meet tomorrow by 5.